Main presentation, Cha-Rie Tang, founder, Pasadena Craftsman Tile, and being introduced by Jeanette O'Malley, Executive Director, Pasadena Museum of History. Thank you,
Oh,
Jeanette.
well, Carol, good morning and a warm welcome to all. It's truly a pleasure to be here today, and thank you so much for asking me to introduce Cha-Rie. And I hope I'm not stealing Cha-Rie's thunder by sharing the story of how we first met. Back in 2025, I was searching for an artist to create arts and crafts style tiles to enhance the museum's entryway. What began as a simple campaign transformed into something much more meaningful. With Cha-Rie as our artist in residence, the project evolved into a tribute to the late Bob Winter, culminating in the installation of his favorite Corbel tiles, lovingly created by Cha-Rie. But let me get back to a moment to my first visit to her studio. I had heard stories about someone who was making chocolates using batch elder molds. That day, I discovered the mystery artisan was none other than Cha-Rie. Unfortunately, she didn't have chocolate for me that day. Even then, she was on a mission to document the legacy of these historic tiles, finding inspiration that would shape her creative journey for years to come. Cha-Rie Tang holds a BS from MIT and a Master's of Architecture from the University of Colorado Boulder. While she began her professional path as an architect, her artistic exploration has included interior design, architectural rendering, and computer graphics. As the founder of Pasadena Craftsman Tile, she has created custom installations for home across the country and abroad. Her public art commissions can be found throughout Los Angeles and Orange counties. And I'm pleased to say that beginning Saturday, October 4th, our museum will present an exhibition, Cha-Rie Tang, 48 Years of Artistic Innovation in Pasadena. Cha-Rie, maybe we should have waited for 50, but 48 Years of Artistic Innovation on view through early January 2026. The exhibition will showcase her work, including fused glass pieces, high relief ceramic tiles, and framed sketches and designs. And before I conclude, Carol mentioned we do have a program at her home. The museum is hosting a celebration of the kickoff for the Route 66 anniversary, which is technically 2026, but we're getting an early start. The evening will feature a presentation on the legacy of Route 66 by the president of the California Historic Route 66 Association. For more information about our program at Carol's Home and Cha-Rie's exhibit, I would invite you to visit the museum's website at pasadenahistory.org. And certainly you can get a message to me from Carol. Thank you, though. And now it's my pleasure to introduce my friend, colleague, and inspiration, Cha-Rie Tang.
Thank you, Jeanette, for the kind introduction. It has been a great honor and pleasure to work with the Pasadena Museum of History. I love being in Pasadena, and I'm thrilled to have my retrospective at the museum. As a lead up to the exhibit, I was asked to talk about my work at the salon for the spirituality of the creative life. I don't think of myself as a spiritual person, but maybe I am. Okay, here, let's go play. There. Let's see how harmony fits in.
Oh,
Whoops. So, harmony in life can be defined as a state of peaceful coexistence, balance, and alignment between different aspects of one's life. My life has been filled with competing interests. I've had the good fortune to indulge in them all. I feel that all the experiences have contributed to giving me a fuller life and to giving my work more artistic depth. In the show, I will be dividing the materials into six sections: nature and nurture, coming to Pasadena, technology new and old, building a tile business, fun with glass, and putting it all together. I was born in Taiwan, second child out of six, and I came to the US when I was 10. As a child, I could win art contests at schools, but I don't remember being encouraged or supplied with art materials at home. Once in junior high, I saw a picture of a beach scene in the newspaper. It triggered my imagination. I took the eraser end of a pencil and dipped it in ink. What happened became one of my favorite art pieces. I kept a sketch pad through high school and college. There were the usual teenage explorations, the evil crowd, and maybe afterlife. There's my cultural, in terms of cultural influences, I was impressed with the Chinese decorative arts. I like to use the Chinese brush with my hands, specific way of holding a brush. Very important. Okay. And when it came to deciding where to go to college, I was in a quandary because I wanted to do art, but being a starving artist was not an option with my family and my upbringing. Also, I was afraid art school would squash my love of art.
Uh-huh.
I got into all the Seven Sisters women's colleges, but they only had art history at the time. I wanted to do something useful. So my sister Cha-Rie, who was at MIT, suggested that I study architecture. So I went to MIT to study architecture. I loved MIT. My ambition was to improve the world with my designs. It didn't happen with architecture, but I think I'm making people happy with my tiles. I particularly enjoyed the visual language design classes at MIT. There are some of the assignments and some collages I made. I joined several clubs and made posters for them, sort of crude posters. Um, and it was at MIT that I finally took my first dance class. I was hooked. I lived in the newly built McCormick Hall for Girls. It had a dance studio. That was heaven to me. I spent many hours there choreographing. The studio was also attracted Twyla Tharp, a rising star at the time, who needed studio space. I controlled the space, so I performed with her company. Music videos were new at the time. I did those too. One of my dance buddies, Greta Holby, suggested that I go to New York City to dance. She did, and she later founded the American Opera Project and later Ardea. I thought a dancer's career is not long-lived, so I went to architecture graduate school instead. I first went to University of Washington and then to University of Colorado because my boyfriend was there and he said he could not live without me. I graduated with a master's in architecture from CU, but I spent most of my time dancing. I was with the Cleo Parker Robinson Dance Ensemble, a black dance company in Denver. I remember having to put on a wig when performing so that my long flowing hair would not be distracting. On campus in Boulder, I was with the Boulder Dance Collective and performed in the planetarium, bringing up the moon and cavorting with the stars. When my husband came to Caltech to finish his PhD, I followed and found my home in Pasadena. My first job was dancing at Disneyland. A dance buddy's boyfriend had a music gig at Space Mountain when it first opened. I did get a real architecture job next year, but I kept dancing with Jamie Nichols to
Oh,
this day,
oh,
and I made lots of posters for her events
oh,
throughout the years.
oh,
So by this time, I had learned Photoshop and was able to do
oh,
professional looking posters.
yay, yay. Oh, Jamie's watching.
In the ensuing several decades, I had worked for half a dozen architecture companies and designed a whole range of buildings. That's my um, picture resume and some of the buildings that I had built and worked on, anyways. In addition to lots of residential and commercial jobs, I did some jobs for the entertainment industry. That's the Flower Drum Song Cafe at Universal Studios and a concept for a theme park. And that's the tram loading station in Orlando, Florida, and the San Francisco Cookie Company over there.
Oh,
I did not feel like a real architect until I did my own house, and that's the garage.
oh,
Whoops. And oh, yeah, and the fish pond down below, that's the background for my picture.
oh, isn't that, oh, wonderful.
The most important job, architecture job I did was the Metro Plaza at the corner of Macy and Main in downtown Los Angeles. I did the whole project from schematic design to construction drawings, consultant management, and getting the building permit. It was built in 1988. Too bad that stairway from Chinatown to Elvira Street is closed, but that was one of the features I wanted, and it's supposed to have a beautiful sculpture there. Another project I was proud to have done was a retirement community in Palmdale. I carried it through acquiring a building permit, but it was never built. The project that concluded my architecture ambitions was a house in La Cañada. The clients loved it, the building department liked it, but the hillside ordinance came into being that year, and the city had to invite neighbors to review it. It took so long, the owners gave up.
Oh,
So I continued to do drafting and interior design for a friend, but that was the end of serious architecture for me.
uh-huh.
All along, I had been having fun designing other things. That's a catatonic wind machine and a place sculpture, which is a tree in a um,
Oh,
mini mall for Herbert Hawkins. I
oh,
don't, it never got built. And
oh, that's catatonic. Oh,
uh, I went whole hog on Pogs. And
oh,
it started because my daughter was 8 years old and she said all the Pogs were um, skeletons and awful things. She wanted to do a series on nature and endangered animals. So I did that. And she did that funny one with a scary face.
oh,
I also did a diorama, dinosaur diorama playscape for my son and a floating light in my fish pond. I also did silk screening on t-shirts and tie-dyeing, the shibori technique. A friend and I called our company born to die.
What? What?
I
Oh my
used and I did a lot of drawings. I made greeting cards, and that's a spread at the Alex Theater for Jamie with her chocolates.
oh oh
And
my
this
goodness.
is the batchelder chocolates I was doing,
Yes.
and keys to my heart
Oh,
on the left, and then trilobite and um, Lost City artifacts. It was chocolate wasn't a business I did not have any deep connections with, so I abandoned it. However, recently my friend Steve Elkins, famous for his discovery of the lost city of the monkey gods in Honduras, mentioned that he had a friend who sourced chocolate beans right outside of his lost city. The woman is Denise Castronovo of Castronovo Chocolate, the only woman in the US to have won the International Chocolate Awards. He had me make molds of some of his archaeological artifacts. Now there is a line of Castronovo chocolates with molds made by me.
it's fantastic. It, oh my
My
goodness.
my connection with Jeanette was through chocolate also, and what a great introduction. Coming to Pasadena, the first thing I did coming to Pasadena was to appreciate and draw buildings here. And that's the library and the City Hall fountain and the Green Hotel. I have my first architecture job on that bridge with Frank Sada and the Celtic Geologic Building and the Pacific Asia Museum
Uh-huh.
and a
Oh,
building in Old Town.
oh,
I even had my drawings on a bus, the City Hall and the Colorado Bridge. I branched out to other cities too. This is in Santa Barbara, their Museum of Natural History, City Hall, and a mission. And this is the Chinese Man Theater, and down there is the Golden Gate Bridge. I went to Art Center College of Design to learn to do architectural renderings. These two are class assignments. I learned well enough on top of doing straight architecture. I did some moonlighting as an architectural delineator. Here are some of the buildings that I drew. Well, okay. When hand rendering became obsolete, I because machines could do them from plans and elevations. I used my skills to help an event planner to envision big parties.
oh my.
The
Look
one
at
on the bottom right is one of the parties. And I just discovered a whole bunch of drawings she gave me that I did for her for NFL and big companies that wanted to have a theme party.
oh my goodness. That looks like an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Oh,
So my introduction to tiles happened because I like arts and craft architecture. It seems that every craftsman building had bachelor tiles. Serendipitously, a tech friend, Chris Cassidy, who lived in Silver Lake, had discovered a garden wall made from bachelor plaster molds. Having learned about slip casting at Anderson Ranch, I was able to help him make tiles from them and got a set of molds made for myself. These are the designs that he had. Unfortunately, they're not really popular in modern contemporary residential buildings. We went to Mission Tile West to see if we could sell these tiles. They said we could sell a few decals, but what we really needed were field tiles in a dozen colorways so people could do a whole project with them. I was not prepared to do that and spend the next 10 years in secret working with the tiles and perfecting my craft. So, next is technology new and old. In the 1990s, digital technology was booming. My husband, Bruce Hubbard, who had a biology PhD from Caltech, was interested in computer graphics. Bruce, Steve, his brother, and I decided to publish CD-ROMs. We selected Owen Jones' Grammar of Ornament, a Bible of Design in the 19th century, as our first project. We worked hard and got a nomination for a Smithsonian Award for the Grammar of Ornament.
Oh,
We went on to publish Christopher Dresser's two books under the title Father of Industrial Design, Vernet's Études de la Plante, and Racinet's Costume Historique, the China and Japan chapters. And, and I did all the graphics. And through those, I learned how to use Photoshop. New methods of making things like dye sublimation and digital printing meant the designs we were publishing could be used by artists who knew how to take advantage of the vector drawings we carefully made, or just anyone with imagination. Sublimation was really interesting to me. Anything that can be printed can be put on a decal and heat pressed onto tiles or mugs or t-shirts. And I had a booklet showing all the different things you could do with sublimation, including making trophies and um, plaques of all sorts. And I had interior design ideas of putting the designs that we were publishing into use. And I did actually get one project done that's a shower. And I did some examples of tiles, and these were printed at trade shows for us um, that can be printed on fabrics. And they could be stretchy fabrics or ones flimsy ones, all sorts of interesting things that before digital printing you had to do like thousands of yards of them. Now you can just do one at a time. The tech boom came to a crashing halt in 2000. We closed our publishing business and I decided to go back to working with my hands. Building a tile business. It took several more years to develop my glazes and learn about selling tiles. In 2004, an opportunity came to apply for making art for Metro Gold Line stations. I chose Monrovia and proposed the project River of Time because the citizens of the city were proud about their historical houses and they taxed themselves to improve the Monrovia Canyon Park. I used historical tiles to signify the passage of human time and sculptural stone carved by water to signify the passage of geologic time. I also wanted to show off my distinctive watercolor tiles. I was chosen in 2005, but it took 10 years until 2015 to have the project installed. I used the 10 years well. First, I went to Bob Winter to talk about my tiles. He introduced me to Alan Batchelder, grandson of Ernest Batchelder, who gave me his blessings. Then I appealed to the public that I could make impressions of their Batchelder tiles, make a mold so that the station can have a copy of their tiles and they could have one for themselves, additional one for themselves, and I could keep the mold. I made 24, 26 of these sets. Whoop, sets. So there's on a column basis, front and back. And that's the elevator lobby where I have my watercolor tiles. And these are two of the sets. I had the good fortune of having been introduced to Phaedra and Mark Ledbetter, who lived in the Green and Green Robinson house. They had meticulously restored the house to the original design, but for the master bedroom, they wanted something of their own. Phaedra asked if I could design and custom carve some eucalyptus trees that were outside of their bedroom window. My first job propelled me right to the top. I then did their fountain too with a cherry tree design. From then on, the cherry tree became the most asked for theme. I began to, okay. Oh,
Uh,
Isabel Green, the
uh-huh.
granddaughter of Henry Green, also found me early on. She
Uh,
designed a fireplace for herself and used my tiles.
uh,
I began to advertise, oh, okay, in specialty magazines. Also, digital media was starting to happen. By 2016, Pasadena Craftsman Tile had become known. My daughter Mei had joined forces with me when she turned 30. We bought a warehouse where she could work. More about that later. And we incorporated. Now we're real business. The exhibit at the museum will have photographs of some of our tile installations. We rely on the client to send pictures to us. The following is a small sampling of projects to illustrate the variety of styles and colors that we have. I will flash them by quickly.
oh, it's just wonderful, wonderful. So fine. Beautiful.
So it's hard to shave them down, so because there were so many of them, but I just want to show the variety. And the one on the left is at the Windsor Cottage at Hotel de Coronado in San Diego.
Oh,
And the one on the left again is for a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
oh,
And it can go from earthy colors to bright colors and all. And nature is very colorful too. And
it's
people like
absolutely
that.
fabulous. You have one of your clients listening, probably many, but Nisha
Yeah,
and Garth.
I should have well, my son is supposed to map for me a lot of the clients on a map with dots. So I hope he gets to it. So this is a very popular fireplace.
Oh, oh,
I also did kitchens. This orange blossom kitchen was one of our favorite projects. Unfortunately, it burned down in the Altadena
oh,
fire. In
oh.
fact, about half a dozen or more of our projects were burnt down.
Oh, you're doing so much to help those people. I heard you speak
Yeah,
at Pasadena Heritage.
yeah, we're
Oh,
hoping to give a discount to people who lost their homes and want our tiles. And the dragonfly tiles for someone in Maine, so as far north as you can go in the continent of US. And the upper right one was for a guy who had lost his house, but burnt down, but the sunflowers survived. So these sunflowers are very meaningful to him.
oh,
Some more. And the one on the bottom left, you can't really see it, but um, the owner's a winemaker. So we had a wine vine going up his kitchen. And the blue one is for Rick Cole, who was um, former mayor of Pasadena. So he gets this Pasadena City Hall. And this one is for someone, a pair who lived near Echo Park. And this is from some historic pictures.
oh,
We also did baths, and this is for a very ritzy spa in Arizona for someone in a vineyard. And the upper right one is for someone in Canada. And in fact, we have a project being installed right now in Australia for a hotel chain, and
oh,
some horses for people in North Carolina.
oh,
And I like this shower because it incorporates field tiles with some carving so that it looks like it fills the whole space, but the cost is much, much less than having everything carved.
oh,
Exterior shower,
oh.
and you don't have to have real fancy colors. Just the left is just one color with all the manifestations of the different variations in that one color.
Oh, that's interesting.
The one on the right is for Russell Brown. Some
Oh,
all
he's on.
know.
Yeah. Oh,
And I did these tiles for these fountains. They're reproductions or semi-reproductions of Batchelder fountains.
oh, so fun.
She did a Deborah Davison in Orange County did a real great job um, doing putting her fountain together. And it was so strange because I have a new customer in Massachusetts, and she was mentioning that when she comes to LA, she has to, she will, to visit Deborah Davison, that she will visit me too. But little did she know I did the fountain for her. So
Oh,
all sorts of coincidences
really?
I
Yes.
find out. And the fountain is on the left is two-sided. So, and it's sort of like the one that Bob Winter had at his house. And
Oh,
even one single tile, like on the right, which is a portable fountain, um, lit from the bottom, it's very dramatic. And
I've
the
heard.
artist exhibited in the recent show. And this um, pool was done for Lisa Mann, who's an artist and probably very into the civic life of Pasadena. And the spa on the right is for someone else in Northern California. And this
Oh,
fountain is in Pasadena Glen area. It was in the path of the fire, but luckily it went unscathed.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh my goodness.
And this waterfall, I had great hopes for. Um, it's pretty spectacular, but I wish I had a better picture. And we also did things for house numbers. And this fountain is for All Nations Church.
Oh,
They don't use it as a fountain anymore, but more niches for exterior. And the patio is very inspirational to people because you don't have to use all of my tiles. You can just put in a few and it could just spice it up.
wow. But
And
yes.
and the wall on the right, I believe, was burnt up also. And
Oh,
it's a good idea. And this one is on the top is for Disney's um, Grand California Hotel in their cafeteria. And the one on the bottom is the only one I did of architecture, and it's in the Bay Area, showing all the landmarks in the East Bay.
fantastic.
And this one is exterior on the side of a garage, which is on the hillside in Sierra Madre.
Oh, oh.
And on the right are the bachelor musicians, which can be finished so that it looks like wood carving. And present time, which is the clock makers, made it into a clock.
Oh,
And this one is that left on the left is for Montecedro in their
yeah.
memory care unit. And on the right is at the Desidero Park under the Colorado Bridge. It's
Yes.
bathroom walls. And this
That's a
one,
public bathroom wall too.
yes,
I mean, fabulous place for the public to be able to
yeah.
have just beauty for that thing.
This one is for Villa Gardens and in their dining room. And I featured gardens of Pasadena, past and present. I try to put in as many um, local uh, plants and animals. And having done the bus and the Monrovia train station, I decided to chase after more public art projects. And this one is one of six in Mission Viejo. And they wanted to feature activities that they sponsored, like the readers or for their library and for the dog walk and the symphony. I also did the wall in Laverne. It's a mini mall on the 2300 block of Foothill Boulevard. And you can notice on the bottom left some photographs, and that's using not sublimation, but a water slide technology, which is similar, but it will survive sun and last long, long time. And I try to show the building of the city with the triangles to signify the mountains and little blocks to signify the trains that was important in the fountain. My latest one is in San Gabriel at the corner of Las Tunas and North Main. It's the city is partial to Spanish architecture because of the San Gabriel mission, but it also has a thriving population of Asians, so I wanted to pay tribute to both cultures. Fun with glass next. Ceramics is kin to glass. You need fire. It's art and technology wrapped together, and many techniques are transferable. Bruce, my husband, loved the technical aspects of it. He designed and built a VW-sized, state-of-the-art glass kiln from scratch. After the kiln was built, I used it to complete two public art projects, one for the Los Angeles Public Library at Exposition Park called Through the Windows of Wonder, featuring fairy tales from around the world. And each of the pictures had at least four layers of glass. You can't see it too much in the picture, but in real life, you can see the dimensions. This is a weaving of a dream from China, and the firebird, and um, boy who killed the giant, and Anansi, the spider, and Magic Lantern, and the Native American Cinderella, Algonquin Cinderella,
Oh,
and one at the LA County Kenneth Hahn Hall of Administration called Unity Through Diversity. I had to put in landmarks of each of the for each of the city um, districts and the people involved, the activities. And I taught briefly at Art Center Evening Division using the kiln, which is big enough to put all the students' work in. Here are a couple more projects that
oh,
required a large kiln. It's a red
oh,
tree and cave painting and Birds of Hope. The Birds of
oh,
Hope was done during the Great Recession. A piece of tempered glass broke, so I gathered together the glass and made them into Birds of Hope.
oh,
And I experimented with glass for the Monrovia station to use as to signify water. And this is one of the things that developed on the left. It was displayed at the um, Sam Malouf Sculpture Garden during his centennial or something. And these days, I don't have much time to do that, so I burn plants and use the ashes to trap them in glass, between glass. And I also do jewelry.
oh my
I
goodness.
invite my sisters between Christmas and New Year's every year to make glass art with me. We worked hard on our vacations. Last year, the Tang sisters had a show at the library of our hometown, Lexington, Massachusetts. Cha-Rie, the older sister, did that really beautiful, colorful, abstract design.
Oh, how wonderful, darling.
Putting it together. My tile career started because of bachelor tiles. Bob Winter's kindness helped it along. He also encouraged me to continue doing my own thing, saying, without innovation, there is no history. I paid tribute to him at the Batchelors. Because of Dr. Winter, I got to know Jeanette O'Malley of the Pasadena Museum of History. I am glad to be their artist in residence. It's a great collaboration. I think of it as harmony. Before closing, I want to mention two more synchronicities. Remember the warehouse that we bought I had mentioned earlier? It was from Gary Jones's family. It turns out that his grandfather was a banker who handled Ernest Batchelder's business in its final years. Gary is on the board of directors for Pasadena Heritage and is the driving force for the bridge party. He
Oh,
now owns the tile on the left. I drew the image in pencil 48 years ago, made a wood laser etching, and recently pressed clay into the wood and made a ceramic tile.
oh, oh, fantastic, fantastic,
And
Cha-Rie.
this is a bird
Oh,
from from Batchelder molds and bringing ceramics and glass together. Finally, Bob Winter told me that the birds on the fabulous fireplace in his house, previously owned by, built by Ernest Batchelder, was these birds were given to his wife on the occasion of their marriage. In Chinese iconography, phoenix is a symbol of marital harmony. I don't know if that was known in the West at that time. My life has not been a straight line. Twists and turns have made it interesting. Unexpected synchronicity suggests that maybe there is harmony behind it all.
oh my goodness. Thank you with all astounding. I don't know how one can be so talented, and you said so many inspiring things. Thank you so much, wonderful Cha-Rie Tang.
Oh, you're welcome.
To sing sort of an appropriate ode in what you expressed. We'll get back to you